Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? Nowhere to go, so far from home. Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? So I break these walls and hold my head up high, and I'll swear my pride until the day I die. As the rain falls down, there's no more tears to cry, tears to cry. So I break these walls and hold my head up high. No, I'm not giving in. No, I'm not giving in.
All right, what is going on? What's good? What's good? What up? What up? Hope you guys are having a phenomenal day today. Let's make sure we get our risk disclaimer up there. But yeah, what up? What up? What else are we missing? The clock. We need the clock so we know what time it is. It's time for live analysis here on the YouTube channel. What up? What up? What's going on? Morty, what's good? G, Miguel, Nikki, Lamont, Ali, Naruto, Lewis, Keith, Jesse. How come I'm not green? Keith, it means you are not a member yet. Speaking of members, oh my goodness gracious, guys. Have you seen my OBS is at? Look at that member goal, guys. We had a member goal of 50. We're at like 57 as of right now, dude. Look at that. Look at that. We are at 57 members, guys. We blew that goal out of the water. Know what I mean? We smacked that goal. Know what I'm saying? Guys, if you're proud of that, and if you can hear me, drop a like on the video so that way I know that all is well. That all is well. Now we're smacking goals. And we're smacking goals. Pretty cool if you ask me. What's good, Tiago? What's good? There's actually some people who have reached out to me and they don't know how to become a member. All you got to do is click the join button. You got to click the join button and you can choose one of the tiers. And there you go. And there you go. We might add a tier 3 pretty soon. But I'm not here to discuss business today. I'm here to discuss the markets because they are moving. And, you know, there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Today is Tuesday, which means we'll also do a review a little bit later, but that's going to be put out in video format. That's not going to be put out in live format. And that, of course, is going to be for members only. So be ready for that. Know what I'm saying? But what's good, Andreas? Joining there. What's good? What's good? So anyway, as far as right now, I think it's a little bit hard to say. The NASDAQ, oh, son of a bitch, it did hit that mitigation at 10:30. Rats. I should have put an order there. But I didn't because it's our strongest index today. So where we are at, okay, for the NASDAQ, I think it's an interesting position because we're back in Sunday's gap. We had a mitigation play here, which again, I didn't play because it's our strongest index today. That goes against one of the rules that I have, at least for myself. I wouldn't be surprised if we came down here below these lows, but we might not. And let me tell you why. If we go to the Dow Jones, okay, the Dow has obviously traded lower, and we are in a 1 hour imbalance. We're coming off of that. So I feel like the low may have been set. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it. And now we're at the beginning of the afternoon session, so we'll see what we do there. So it's kind of hard to say downside for NASDAQ when you have you know, a higher time frame concept here. We would have to push through that, which we can, but I just don't know. Now with ES, with S&P, we might have a lower downside objective at the 41.96 price point. There was some lows from Sunday's gap, or at least like not at the gap, but like if you highlight Friday's close and Sunday's open, okay, below that was liquidity. So we've met that as well, but it's not entirely looking like a reversal here. So it just depends. And it was clean to short solely, I would agree. I think Dow had the better short though. I think Dow had the better short. So, you know, obviously what we do from here is going to be important. If we trade higher, like there's a little imbalance right there. If we trade higher, this might end up becoming a mitigation later on. I'm just speculating. I'm not saying anything definitive. I mean, possibility wise, I mean, that could be something, but it's just that 1 hour imbalance is down here. So, you know, I don't know. If we compare the lows together as well, the Dow is higher, whereas the S&P is lower, and the NASDAQ also is lower, but the lows are slightly different. So again, it is a mixed day. You know what I mean? It is a mixed day. Why I don't consider this a break of structure? Why I don't consider what break of structure we're referring to? Are you guys allowed to drop links to like a trading view chart or something like that? Can you drop that in the chat or no? Oh,
you remember Tom, the guy who started MySpace? Of course.
And that reminds me, the video, I got 2 more videos coming out very soon. Let me take a look at this real quick. Both of them are going to be like premieres. And it just means that you guys, it has like the thumbnail and the countdown and all that prior to the video, but there are 2 videos coming out. So one of them is the Successful Traders Trio that comes out on Thursday. at 11 a.m. EST. So prior to, or no, we don't have a stream. We don't have a live stream on Thursday. We just have the market review on Thursday. Okay. So the Successful Traders Trio, that's going to be a free one. That's going to be on the page. It's not going to be member exclusive. And then on the 3rd, so that's going to be Saturday, there's the adversity discussion. All right. So content is coming. All right, content's being produced. And what's interesting about the Successful Traders Trio is that was actually the first time I got to speak here in Houston. That was that presentation. So I don't think any of y'all were there, but yeah, you'll see it. So anyway, we'll watch the S&P, and I guess we can cycle through some currencies if you want me to, but I need a little bit more information to work with. I wouldn't necessarily just buy it here. I am not entirely convinced that this is our low enough for me to take a trade off of. It could be. You know what I mean? If I was bullish on the Dow, I mean, that would have been an okay long. We are around that 33,000 whole level as well. So maybe, but I'm just not convinced. So when you look at it from the aspect of Sunday's gap, right? The Dow is below Sunday's gap, and the NASDAQ is above Sunday's gap. You see what I mean? So that's what I mean when I'm saying that it's a mixed day, and then the S&P is slightly below. So me trying to pick the low of the day, I think is going to be slightly difficult, at least for today. Okay. Why don't you consider this a reversal when you have a break of structure? I'm still not understanding the question. Keith's on the phone. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that. Maybe go to the computer. Go to a computer. Oh, I didn't even turn my ring light on. You guys can still see me though, so it's cool. So yeah. Let me delete some of this stuff as well. And this is what I mean when I said earlier about the Dow having a better shorting opportunity. Even though it didn't have the same lows as S&P, there's some lows over here from Friday, and then that 1 hour imbalance below that. It's just, to me, this is really super clean. All right. And obviously I'll go more in depth for the market review later on today. But if you highlight Sunday's gap, and then you see where this mitigation occurs and what the mitigation is coming off of, that's going to give you some insight to why Sunday's gap is important. Okay. So like, I mean, I shouldn't have to point it out to you, but I will. Okay. Friday's close. Sunday's open. Now, I'm not doing anything like with this in here. But what I'm saying is when you look at today, look at the mitigation here. So that high, low, higher high, right? So that higher high, whoops, that higher high, I usually look for either a run on liquidity or rebalancing price, right? Usually like in the form of an imbalance or something. But what you also have to understand is, at least on a 15-minute time frame, I can't say the same for the 5-minute, but on a 15-minute basis, that high here during London is respecting that gap here. And then we get our break of structure, and then that 8:30. So the stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange, opens and then rallies up, and then right there was obviously the ideal entry. Now I was late to the charts today, so you know I didn't see it obviously beforehand. I wasn't in front of the charts, but looking back at it, it spiked up, it would have got you in and then instantly lower. So that, I think, was the play of the day, if there was one. And it came right down into this 1 hour imbalance. That move right in there would have been very nice to capture. So that's what I mean when I think that the Dow had a better short versus the S&P. Okay. Optimist, I don't give out PDFs. If you want to purchase a book, do it the right way, do it the legal way, support authors and support creators by purchasing their content. I'm not really an advocate for sharing PDFs. Not anymore, at least. I mean, I used to, but once I became an author, I was like, oh yeah, it's not cool, you know? What I'm seeing is a sell structure, so why would you consider a buy as opposed to waiting for a sell? Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a reversal kind of guy, okay? I like trading reversals, you know what I mean? I like trading very close to the high of the day. And so, like, for me, I'm watching to see if this is our low, but I'm not convinced that it is. It might be, but I'm not getting that vibe. So, I mean, if I wanted to just take a trade, I could. I mean, we could just say fuck it and just long it, but I don't want to do that with real money. On a paper account, sure. But if I was treating this like this was a live account, I wouldn't long here. I would want to wait, you know, to see some sort of willingness to trade higher and then lower again, like as a retracement. So if you're familiar with the mitigation model, you guys know that that's how it works. And if you haven't seen the mitigation model, that's fine. I've at least done a reel on it. So it's not the most in-depth explanation, but you at least get what to look for. So that's on a YouTube short. It's on my Instagram reel. This is my most recent one, actually. And that actually just got over 5,000 views. So that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Guys, we got to get those likes up, man. We got to get those likes up. Smash that like button. Smash that like button, guys. We got 33 people, but only 7 likes. What's up with that, man? It's not just the haters creeping, all right? You know, I believe in you guys. I believe that you're here and that you're capable of hitting that like button. Know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'll probably end up cycling through between the S&P, Dow, and then the NASDAQ. So what we'll do, as far as alerts go, we usually like to have alerts on here. I'll place one here at the lows, 14,367.5 for the NASDAQ. So if the indices do continue lower, I think that could be easily a target for the downside. If the S&P is also going to follow suit with trading lower, then 41.95 or 41.96, I think could be easily obtainable. And then with Dow, I think it's definitely hard to say. So we'll just have to wait. And this is all that great. I mean, we've consolidated. It's rough. You know, not always my favorite. What are you thinking about currency? It's a little interesting now. Well, which one? Or are we talking about the wrapper? Which currency are we referring to? Dollar's been mooning. Might put some pressure on the indices a little bit. Might prevent them from rallying, at least to an extent. And I don't know what I have over here for the currencies. I don't think I really have anything marked up. I may have briefly looked at it. The British pound, if you notice that, it did trade higher here while the euro is lower. So there's definitely some weakness, and that may or may not set up a long for the euro here. Low, high, lower, low. We traded through that. You have an imbalance and a potential mitigation here. But I'm just not feeling that. I think if we would have left Monday's high, that would have been the upside. But now that Monday's high has been taken, I don't know about that. I have been bummed trying to catch a retracement. Usually it's because I am banking on a mitigation block to hold on first entry. I don't know what to say to that. Practice, man. You got to practice. The problem that the smart money community faces, I think, at least, I mean, God, the last 4 or 5 years, is that when content was put out, whether by an individual or multiple people on YouTube or whatever, one of the biggest problems is that, and I'm probably I probably did this in the beginning too, is that individual concepts themselves are great, but they're just pieces to a puzzle. So if you're not able to have like an effective trade plan, you know, based around that one or two concepts, then it's not, you know, it's going to be bad. And this is why I'm making another video, like top 10 smart money trading mistakes that the community, you know, faces. Like, for example, the formation that I look for the mitigation model specifically is this, right? It's the low, high, lower, low. We break structure, and then we trade back into an imbalance and an up candle overlap to go higher. Okay? So by itself, alone, we would long this. Okay? But what you got to understand is, given the setup, number one, euro is weaker than British pound. Okay. British pound may not be trading into anything yet, so I don't know. But if you incorporate time in the day, we've already had a huge move during London, and New York may or may not be an extension. I don't know. It doesn't look like that. But part of the model is also having a higher, not a higher time frame, but a high probability target. And so that's why I told you a minute ago that Monday's high has been taken already. And if this is the weaker market, it would be more difficult for the euro to trade higher and continue that. So to me, it may disqualify this as being a buying opportunity. So there's got to be a little bit of discernment, you know, versus... Like here's another one. Say institutional candle, for example. Like if you look for, oh, well, this is a down candle before an up move. Not every up candle or every down candle is going to be tradable. You know what I mean? Or imbalances. Not every single imbalance is going to be tradable. You know, it's forming a sound logic using the concepts. And that's where I think a lot of people get chopped up. And yeah, so, you know, we can always go back and show examples and stuff like that. But when we're here live, I try to not just give you what I think is going to happen, but we either qualify or disqualify certain setups, you know, like, for example, what we did on the indices, right? I told you I'm watching this imbalance, but I'm not going to trade that. So look at it. If we traded that, it's not doing anything. If anything, is being traded through right now. Right? So again, it's discernment. Is that an imbalance? I mean, it appeared to be, but now it's just being disrespected. We didn't fucking long that. You know what I mean? We didn't long that. We didn't long the Dow. I mean, it's trading back into a range anyway. In the NASDAQ, you know, we outlined, number one, that this was a mitigation. And that, two, if we trade lower, 14,367.5 could be easily a downside objective for NASDAQ. So when you consider, well, this could happen or that could happen, if you frame, and this is for your notes, okay? This is like a free game here. When you have the possibility for the market trading lower, okay? Because the S&P could trade lower, the NASDAQ could trade lower. It's just the Dow may or may not have made the low of the day. I don't know. But if two of the indices are going to go lower, then the third one might as well. It doesn't have to, but it might as well follow suit. So it's like, okay, we looked for a potential long position. And I'm going to get to the chat in a minute, but let me get this out here, because otherwise I'm going to lose my train of thought. If you are looking for a long position, but you can justify the market going lower, that's not a high probability long position. And that's probably not a trade that you want to take. Okay, so that's what we did here. I said, well, it could, if this is our low, it could end up becoming a mitigation for later. I didn't say the market has to do this. That's exactly what I want to see, and you know, whatever. It's like, no, bro, you gotta kind of weigh your options, not options like stock options or anything, but I'm saying like weigh, could it be bullish, could it be bearish? And if it's both, that's not high probability conditions. So I'm not trying to trade anything here. I'm not trying to long the S&P. Now it's trading lower. Okay? And I'm not trying to long the NASDAQ either, because now look at it. Look how fucking close it is to these lows down in here. And that was actually the target for this mitigation up here. So the play of the day for NASDAQ, at least, was this short. I'm not in it, so there's nothing for me to do here. I mean, we could probably sneak in an entry to go lower, but I mean, fuck. We're so close to the target that it almost makes any entries like very, I mean, our stops would have to be like really tight, you know? And you just got to be careful with that. So hopefully that makes sense. Can you explain why you picked the candles you do for mitigate? Yeah, I think I did a little bit here. And I'm going to make a video on the mitigation model for members here pretty soon too. It was a buy to sell on XAU on gold. What are we talking about, Alex, for gold? Do you consider those things? Do you count it like something significant? Count what? Guys, if you ask a question, you got to be specific, man. Otherwise, I don't know what we're talking about. You got to be specific. All right. Thanks, Jesse. We'll pull up gold, but I at least want to watch this for a minute. I want to see if that target's able to get hit or not. 11:45, 12. So right at the afternoon session, it reaches into that small 15-minute imbalance right there. I wouldn't have traded that, but it did smack right into that. Trades lower, up candle here, done. Yeah, this is probably dusted. This is easily dusted. So we'll probably see that get smoked here in just a second. We'll buy your book. It seems like, or it seems to touch on the topics I like to trade with. Yeah, I appreciate that, Lawrence. A lot of people like my book. Some people didn't like it. Some people hated it without reading it, of course. But, you know, it's all gravy. It's all gravy either way. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, so we'll probably see that end up trading lower. All right, we'll go take a look at gold then. We'll see what's taking place over there. But we got an alert there, so we'll be notified if that ends up being met. All right, gold. Oh my God, gold. Gold is gross, man. Well, first of all, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Oanda, because they printed this bullshit, and I wouldn't trade a chart that has that. If I did, this would be erased. Like, what I would do is I would take a tool and I would just take that off my chart like it wasn't even there. I don't think I have I would just erase all of this. I'd pretend like that's not even there, because that's not real price action. Like, this shouldn't be here unless that's seen across every other gold price chart. But if Oanda is the only one that has that, then I would just delete that off the fucking chart. But I think gold took out all of these lows here and then took off, and silver did not trade lower. So if you look at Thursday's low is here. That was taken on gold, right? See that? Unless my camera's in the way, I don't think so. See that right here? Boom. So gold is lower today, and then silver is higher. So that is a little bit of trickery there. And now, you know, gold is just continuing. But I wouldn't do anything with this. And I'm not exactly sure what the question was related to gold, what we talked about. It's at 1 p.m. your time. The EU chart you're showing shows it. We had a new high created. Wait for retracement. Use the MB you show to set a limit. All right. I'm not sure, but okay. If we're good, then we're good. Checking out a price chart. Country's making it difficult for me. How do you think we can go about that? We can't use our card on YouTube. Oh shit. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not sure. Jesse says it's not on my XAU chart. Yeah, then it's bullshit. This right here is nothing. Like, that shouldn't be there. And I don't know why that's there. It definitely makes this look ridiculous. Lewis has a copy of my book, said it's great. Appreciate that. Thank you. Tiago says the daily chart, euro respected the gap, and British pound may have possible target. Do you consider this a target for British pound? Alex said I already answered. Yeah, I'm fucking all over with the chat. Sometimes I skip and come back. I'm all over the place. What's good, Nick? With the positive vibes. All right. You said euro on the daily. So I guess you're talking about this gap here. Okay. It could be significant. It kind of overlaps with that old gap as well. So there's a little bit of an overlap there. Huge discount as well, at least on a daily time frame. There's that gap right there seen on the weekly as well. Okay. But I mean, but even then though, we were looking at the 1 hour. But even with that, the euro is weaker than British pound. So look at euro GBP, the cross pair, right? It's been doing what? At least the last few weeks, it's been trading lower. In a general sense, without incorporating every fluctuation in price, it's continuously trading lower, so as of right now, the euro weakness versus the British pound is there. So if we were going to long, I think, at least as of right now, it would probably be more advantageous to long British pound more so than the euro. You know what I mean? So if we look at British pound on the daily, it doesn't have that same discount. So let's do this real quick. The euro, right? It made a low back in March, made a high, and then now, I mean, this is like a probably 786 or something. I mean, it's at a fairly steep discount. Oh, not quite 786 yet, but in between 618 and 786. I mean, that's still a, quote unquote discounted price. So I mean, maybe, but you look at British pound and you see that same retracement. I don't think the low is set on the same date, but I mean, it's not even at 50%. So it is hard to tell. It is hard to tell. What other questions you guys got? How is Jordan and Zach could join you here on YouTube? Oh, they can. I mean, if they want to. It's up to them. I'm going to have a guest for you guys, I think, next week. It's not confirmed, but I think we'll have a guest. I got someone lined up for you next week. Trillionaire says, I was reading Meditations today. It's so good. Dude, I'm telling you, man, that's why I gave it away. I gave a few copies away. I put my dentist on game. I actually gave him another copy of Ryan Holiday's Discipline is Destiny. And I gave it as a Christmas gift for one of my good friends from high school. I didn't give my other friend Meditations because I know he wouldn't read it, but I did give him my notes on it. So he at least has some highlights from Meditations. It's a good book, man. I'm telling you. So it's so good and solid. So good. Yeah. The Iron Mindset. It's really good. It's good stuff. There's a matter of fact, now that you brought that up, there's a YouTube channel I want to promote. This guy has way less followers than he should have. Like it should be a crime how many subscribers this guy doesn't have. Go to this guy's channel. Let's see if I can drop it in the chat. It's called The Active Mind. And I mean, dude, I commented on his video too. He doesn't have all that many subscribers, but his content is really good. Like the one he just put out 2 days ago. I mean, the content is solid. The editing is great. And how he doesn't have a lot more views is beyond me. So if you like philosophy, self-improvement, this guy's great. Shit, we might even have him on the channel one day. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. But really, really good work from The Active Mind. So go take a look at his channel. If you like Stoic philosophy, if you like Stoicism and stuff like that, you should check him out. 100%. What else to understand? Yeah, Lawrence. So why sometimes it works and then sometimes it doesn't? It's all going to be fuck, man, it's hard to explain. Higher time frame order flow, you know, lower time frame order flow, when they're in alignment, that's when you get explosive price movements. Like with what we did last week on the Dow, right? That little gap that we saw, and price like booked it. Price ran the fuck away from that gap. That's because it was smaller time frame entries with higher time frame bias, and it was a smack, bro. And you know, we try to look for that on most trades. We won't get that, but you know, it's about trying to find entries like this, where it barely taps you in, gets you in, and then just runs your direction. Like those are the best. Okay, and it is hard. All right, I'm not gonna make it, you know, seem like it's always easy, because it's not. But it's higher time frame analysis and smaller time frame entries. I've put out, oh my god, I mean, I don't even know how many videos over the last few number of years. And you know, we have the triple screen that's from Alexander Elder. We have just the top down analysis approach of starting with the higher time frames, going down to the lower time frames. We have order flow, time of day, bunch of stuff, you know. And now I have a lot more freedom on this channel, so there's a lot more stuff, different topics that we can go over that will also help you with trading, like mindset and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. So it's interesting because we see the NASDAQ trading lower, and the Dow's kind of maintaining that 1 hour imbalance here. And the S&P is also trading lower to a degree. So today's a very, very interesting day. An interesting day indeed. $1.26 area. We'll take a look. D is a fantastic book. Lewis, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? You're reading Ego is the Enemy. Yeah, it's a good one. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday is really a book. The only reason I didn't recommend that book earlier is because I feel like if there's a sequence to reading about different topics, Ego is the Enemy should have came later. Because learning, I think, about ego, I mean, learning about ego is great, but I feel like that's going to be more applicable to people who are successful. And so, oh, discipline is destiny. Okay, sorry. Obviously, I'm not at 100%. I haven't eaten today yet, so, you know, I can't put fucking 2 and 2 together sometimes, all right? That's why I tell you guys to speak with fluent, full sentences. You know what I mean? But yeah, so ego is more like, if you think you're the best trader, if you think that, you know, you're better than everyone else, ego is the enemies for you. But if you're not, like, if you don't have an ego problem, that book is only going to be beneficial, you know, so much. You know what I mean? I noticed your book was written in 2021. Well, it was written in 2020. It was published in 2021. And will I do a follow-up? I am writing my second book right now, but it is not about trading. It's about business, personal development. I'm probably going to throw philosophy in there as well, and relationships as well. So, am I going to do a follow-up trading book? Probably not. I think YouTube is enough. So, yeah. I mean, it would be cool to, you know, make more money, sure, but You know, not everything's always about money, man. It's not always about money. I'd rather teach you the charts here and then have a book on something else, you know, versus like another trading book and another trading book. I'm sure I could write 5 more trading books, you know, but I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Plus, that's going to take away from finishing up the second one, and that's going to take away from content here on YouTube. So there you go. There you go. So we've really like just paused here for a minute. We're not quite getting that run. Oh, you know why? Because that's the lower end of that Sunday's gap. You see how like we kind of tapped into it and now we're kind of here? That could be probably significant, but I would want to push through that. I would definitely want to see this low get dominated. Know what I'm saying? Why did price touch the 14,450 and go down? Somewhat up here? Or are you talking about specifically 14,450 even? I mean, justification or reasoning could be any number of things, but I believe that price is manipulated, and I believe that it is delivered by either an algorithm or algorithms. But I also believe that there is hands-on manipulation as well. So for me to tell you distinctively like, oh, well, it was this, that, and a third. I mean, I could be wrong in the reasoning, but right in the direction. I mean, that's going to come down to personal interpretation. Oh, the gray box. That's just an imbalance, I think, on the 15-minute. I just happened to notice. I marked it up way after the fact. It wasn't before. I was just seeing, what I was looking at was 12. Because 12 is the afternoon session. So I was trying to see like, okay, well, what happened here? And the only thing is that we opened right at that imbalance and just gave it up. Like we didn't even trade above the afternoon session open. I mean, it traded up like 1 or 2 ticks and then just dumped. So, you know, that's rough, man. But that would be continued order flow from up here. So order flow is bearish, is what I'm saying. Okay. Oh, especially this. Okay. Short-term high at 740, 840, right? So here's your 830 open. It runs up, takes some short-term highs, and then absolutely rips everyone's face off, then mitigates, trades lower, imbalance, trades lower. I mean, we could see one more low run higher into that. That's a possibility. Like we could trade up into that imbalance and then smack lower. I could see that. Is that tradable? On a scalping idea, maybe. On a scalping idea. But would I take this on a live account? May not be enough juice. May not be enough juice. But I'll watch it. I'll watch it with you. How to avoid hands-on manipulation? Well, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. But what I look to do primarily is essentially algorithmic. Because if you think about it, if you look back on what we did with the Dow, Okay, you can either rewatch the stream, or if you're a member, you can watch the most recent upload or second most recent upload of the highlight. I think it's like a 13 or 14-minute video. Okay, what we did there was a gap inside of an imbalance inside a mitigation. So that, to me, that gap is algorithmic. So to me, I'm trusting the algorithm to rebalance price, you know, to an extent, because it offered sell side, offered no, well, actually it offered neither buying nor selling, but it had gap down, was sell side offered, and when it came back up into the gap, that to me is algorithmic, where price is delivering buy side, right? So price is being offered to buy it, and when it gets back into that gap and it filled it in, that to me was a shorting opportunity, and that the algorithm would then say, okay, we've delivered price on the upside, now we're gonna take that bitch lower. Okay, and that's exactly what you saw. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up here in a minute. I really want to see the NASDAQ take this low first. I'd rather watch it live than to just wait on an alert. So we'll see what we get. But coming back to your question, so that I'm relying on the algorithm to redeliver price. I'm not trying to predict like a manual override of price action, right? Where someone may be controlling price, or, you know, some shit like that. I'm waiting for the algorithm to rebalance and then move price. So if manual intervention comes in, I may not be able to avoid that. Okay? So you're asking me how to avoid that, and I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. But what I do have is 14,367.5. I don't think we're done. I think it's gonna, you know, dig into the low like it's doing now, where it's moving past the low to grab sell stops wherever they may be. But yeah, so we didn't get that imbalance here, and that's fine. But you know, we recognize bearish order flow. Price went lower. Oh, not all that difficult, is it? We didn't find an entry though. I mean, no, I didn't look for anything there. The S&P continuing to trade lower. We did outline 41.96 as a potential downside. So we can put an alert there as well. Let's see if we get that. Could be a stretch. And so look at that. Look at that big difference there. Look at NASDAQ running some liquidity here. And again, the Dow is still not trading lower. It's like it's still maintaining that imbalance here on the 1 hour. It's still maintaining that. So that to me is pretty fucking suspicious. Pretty suspicious. But yeah, look at that. Look at that 1 hour candle print though. That's solid. It's pretty solid there. Pretty cool. Pretty cool if you ask me. Lawrence, what is an MB? I still don't know what that is. See you later, Andreas. I don't know if you're still here. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Isn't a gap and imbalance the same thing? No. No. Can you buy this algorithm? My timeline is littered with companies offering EA bots that know the algorithm. I strongly doubt that. But the algorithm that delivers price, that's like exclusive to central banks, I'm sure. I could be wrong on that. I mean, it's not like I went up there and fucking asked. You know? hey, central bank, do you have an algorithm that moves price? Could I see it? You know, could I see the code so I can make one for myself? You know, like, what the fuck? Yeah, nothing like that. Nothing like that. No siree, Bob. Look at this up candle here. Prices respected that to an extent. To an extent. That's interesting. Where do I need to start from your videos? Good question. I would start with the, and this is what I'm still putting together, but if you go to my page and you go to playlists, all right, there is a personal development playlist, which has 11 videos. I would rock with that. There's 7 videos under the discussions playlist. That is videos with guests. So we had Dennis, we had a bunch of other people on. Different, those are a little bit longer, but they're solid. And I have a playlist called For Students. Now, that only has 4 videos, and 2 of which haven't been released yet. So the first one is how to take notes. The second one is how to read a book. I mean, if you want to go through those, you can. But I'm trying to set it up to where you go through each one. Like, all right, you start with the 4 students, then you go through personal development, then you go through the discussions, and then you go through another playlist I haven't created yet. But or you can go through the content that is exclusive to members. So I don't know how many videos we have there. I can't tell. I think it's like 5. Yeah. So there's 5 videos that are members only. FOMC price action, that was a clip. Dealing with drawdown. NASDAQ paper trading, that was a paper trade I recorded. So you can like see executions and order flow and stuff like that. The Dow live analysis, that's the one I mentioned earlier, that we watched the Dow hit the gap and take a dump. And then 2 days ago, I put out a video, amateur versus professional. Fun fact, that video, amateur versus professional, that was supposed to go in the sniper course. But now it's on YouTube. Know what I'm saying? When we move on to the September futures contract, the 16th June, do you usually not trade on contract crossover day, or is this not a factor for you? I've traded on crossover days before. A long time ago, I made that mistake. I actually shorted the NASDAQ at the high of the day, but I shorted the contract like 5 minutes before it expired. So I actually took a loss. So think about that. I shorted the high of the day and took a loss on it. It was crazy, but that was my mistake. That was a dumbass mistake. But I don't usually trade crossover days or like contract expiry days. I usually don't trade. Oh, mitigation block. Well, so those are 2 different things. Those are 2 completely different things. So maybe that's probably why you're fucking up, because those are different. Gap is when the market opens from the weekend. Well, the market on Sunday doesn't always open with a gap. I will explain that one day. I mean, I could explain it today, but it's easier to, it's better, I think, to go more in depth than it is to just like give you a quick answer. But the quick answer is this. All right, take this for example. Sunday, okay, that is a gap. There was no buying or selling offered anywhere from where price closed on Friday to Sunday's open. There was no buying or selling offered there. So when price, okay, you can see what it does here. What does it do? It comes down, fills that in, and trades higher. So to me, it offered selling here, right? So it offered a chance for delivery on one side. Okay. Basically, what I'm saying is a gap, there's no delivery on upside or downside. Whereas an imbalance, like let's say this one, for example, as we watch price continue to trade lower. That's nice. Okay. This is different. You have a single candle that offered sell side delivery where there was opportunities to short this market and there wasn't enough buy side price delivery. So price, okay, comes back up and it offers delivery. So you could have, price was delivered on both sides of the market. So that to me is why when it fills it in, essentially, okay, you can see how when it trades right there, it offers buy side and then hits that mitigation and it dumps lower. Okay. So that's the difference, is that gaps offer neither side of the market and imbalances have only previously offered one side where now it has to offer the other side. That's why gaps, to me, when there's a gap within an imbalance, that's why it's so powerful. Okay. What day was that last week? Do you guys even remember? It had to be the 23rd. Or was it the 20th? Dude, I don't even fucking know what day that was. Is it a Tuesday or Wednesday? Let me see if I can find it. Unless you guys know. Was it this? Yeah, it was this. Okay. So we watched this, not the whole move because we hopped off. I wish we would have watched the whole move, but that was my mistake. The idea here was that was a potential mitigation, and you had an imbalance within that. Okay. So that by itself is super powerful. Super powerful. But what we also did is we went down into the super small time frame. Okay. Oh shit, it was on YM, not the micro. Because the micro didn't have the gap. Okay. We went down and found this. Well, I mean, not we, it was me who did it, but that's what we watched. Okay. So that short right there, you might have taken a little bit of drawdown, but look at the response from that. Okay. I can't even, TradingView doesn't even fucking allow me to keep it here. Okay, so look at that gap right there and look at the response from that. Okay, beautiful. Now I was out of it down in here, so I didn't catch the whole move, but that's all right. But I'm just saying that's the difference. Okay, there was too much sell side delivery here, and so price had to be offered buy side there. Okay, but I'm not buying it. I'm shorting that. And then boom. Right? That's beautiful. I mean, it almost doesn't get any better than that. Okay? And so that essentially is what I like to look for. That's not going to be on every single trade. It's not going to be like that. But the idea is still, very similar. We're looking for potential targets. We're looking at order flow, and we're looking for entries to get in alignment with that order flow. Okay. There was a mitigation here, but the reason I wouldn't have traded that is because the lows were already taken and I wasn't continued. I didn't have that idea that we'd be bearish. So I didn't take this. And that's all right. I'm fine with that. But on a 15-minute basis or a 1 hour basis, it definitely looks like it's bearish. So, yeah. NASDAQ will break yearly lows before next quarter. I don't know about that. To 11K. You talking about this? You talking about the NASDAQ going to 11K? I don't know what you're smoking, but I'll take some of whatever it is. Hook me up with your dealer, please. You think we're going to 11K? Before the next quarter? Holy shit. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? Oh, Jesse, you know what? That actually gives me a good idea. I need to write that down. For all the new people, because I forget. So appreciate that. Look at that. Teamwork makes the dream work. So the markups that I use, okay, there's a reason that I have a color scheme. All right, my colors are all, they mean the same thing. So what I mean is, like, orange is mitigation, the gray box is an imbalance, the teal lines are going to be institutional candles, and the pink lines are going to represent liquidity. Okay. And that's not going to change. So that's been that way. Okay. So, like, here's an example. We drew that after the fact, of course, but it's what helps, you know, confirm the bearish order flow essentially for the S&P. Okay. So I need to make a video on that as well. So appreciate the feedback there. Not that you try to do that, but you just gave me another idea to put into a lesson plan, because I'll probably put that in the sessions video, or I might just make it a separate video. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. Okay. Can you give us a strategy? Fuck. Not in an hour. It takes months to explain all this shit. We'll come back to currencies in a minute, but I want to see if we get 4196 for the S&P. Okay. All right, I get what you're saying, Lawrence. I get you. What is the 75 members goal? Well, the goal recently, oh, it's kind of smushed right here. The goal recently was 50. And we were at 46. Now we're at 57. So essentially we surpassed the goal of 50. And so now the next goal is 75 members. So if you click the join button, you can become a member today. Or any join button under any previous videos will prompt you to that screen where you can become a tier 1 or tier 2 member. That's how you get access to some community posts that are only for members, and that's how you get access to some videos that are only available to members. So I actually had a question on that earlier. Someone asked me how much is my YouTube? I'm like, well, my YouTube is free because these live streams are free, but you have the option, not the obligation, but you have the option to become a member for the sniper next to your name. You get that on the chat. You get that on comments and everything else. And you get, which changes colors, by the way. It's a loyalty badge is technically what it is. And you get like emojis and stuff. So you get there's incentive to become a member, but it's not a requirement. If it was a requirement, a lot of you, a few of you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have access to the chat because I could turn that off at any moment. I can make the stream itself member only, but I don't want to do that. I at least want to have 1 or 2 streams a week that is free to the public. I don't think everything should be monetized, you know? But again, we'll talk more about that when we get to our business lectures or discussions rather. Okay. This mitigation works only within every concept that I teach you guys is applicable to every asset class. Doesn't matter. Stocks, futures, currencies, commodities, metals, it's all the same. I mean, they're different, but the setups and all that are the same. Appreciate that, Matthew. So you're saying 20% down on NASDAQ within 2 to 4 months? All right, I'm going to hold you to that. I will hold you to that. Why do you think? Why so drastic? I mean, because you could be right, but the NASDAQ is our strongest index. The tech sector is booming right now. And I know those don't continue forever, but there's got to be some sort of justification for why you think the strongest market sector would collapse by 20% in the next couple of months. Because most people who talk like that on Twitter, I fucking roast. I should make a compilation of that. I should take people's tweets where they're going, I'm bearish. And it's like right at the low. It's like the low of the month they were bearish, you know? It's like, dude, the fuck, man. Why do you trade indices as opposed to currencies? Because I just prefer indices. That's just what I prefer. Currency is all right, but with Forex, you got to deal with spreads and all that, and I don't care for that. Futures don't have spreads, and if they do, it's like one tick maybe. So usually the price you see is the price you get. So I can go break even faster. I can reduce risk faster, and that's what I prefer. And the Dow still maintaining that 1 hour imbalance. And well, I mean, it looks like the NASDAQ, I don't know what it's doing just yet. But definitely clean shorts offered today for all of the indices. Relative strength analysis gives a nice edge. Oh yeah, that's why I wrote about it. That's why I teach it. You know, that was one of the videos that got me famous a while back, like in 2020. I did a video, I think, for Traders Empire, and I did a presentation on relative strength analysis. That's on YouTube now, by the way. And after that, like that's, you know, I was known for that for a little while before I got known for other things. But yeah, that video helped put me on the map within part of the trading community. But it's not mine, it's Larry Williams. So, but yeah, it's awesome. That's why I use it. It's definitely why I use it. But anyway, if you guys have any more questions, because I'm not really looking to do anything as far as like entering or exiting anything. I'm not looking for anything right now. I mean, maybe the last hour could offer something, but if it was up to me, I'd probably just walk away today. Plus, I got a lot of shit to do. I haven't journaled. I haven't eaten today. I haven't gone outside today. And I still got to work on more content for you guys. So moves have already happened and it's very late in the day. So I don't want to force anything. Felix, welcome to tier 2, man. Welcome to tier 2. So now we're at 58 members. 58 out of our next goal of 75. So yeah, check out some of those videos that you now have access to. Welcome. Do you have a set schedule for tier 2 members? Is there a video on relative strength analysis already? Still kind of confused on that. Jesus, I think I just said that. Unless I didn't. Did I lie to you? I don't think so. No, I didn't. I didn't. It's called relative strength analysis, brother. It's right here on YouTube. It's called Divergence, Relative Strength Analysis with John Phibb. That was 4/6/2020. Oh, that was 3 years ago. Oh, I didn't realize it was that long ago. But yeah, let me see. I don't know if I put it in there. If I didn't, I fucked up, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned Larry Williams. Well, anyway, so there's a 40-minute video for you. You can go watch that. So yes, it's there. That one is not a membership only video. I need to delete that because that video is playing. It throws me off. I'm going to take that off. Let me get back to the chat. But as far as the schedule goes, we are live here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then I'm going to have market reviews on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And other content that's just going to be released, I don't know, probably randomly whenever I get to it. But there are 2 videos coming out this week. I mentioned that earlier, but I'll mention it again. There is the Successful Traders Trio coming out on the 1st. That's going to be Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then you have the Adversity discussion coming in on Saturday, also at 11 a.m. Eastern. Those are both free videos. Okay? So content is coming. But there are going to be more membership-only videos coming soon. Okay? All right, dog, I hear you. I hear you. Thinking correctly. Does British pound have low resistant highs? Is that what LRH is? Low resistant highs? Low resistant lows from yesterday. We'll take a look at British pound. Indices are kind of rallying a little bit. So look at which time frame are you thinking about as well for British pound? Are you talking about these highs up here? You talking about those? I mean, I could see that as an upside objective, yeah. But I mean, I think it's hard to do anything right now. Like if you weren't in from these lows or something on a smaller time frame, I think it's fairly hard to say. But if you're looking at that as like low resistant highs, I could see that. I could definitely see that. But I'm not in anything with British pound. And the euro hasn't really moved all that much. The last hour or so hasn't really done much. But if that's what you're asking about, I think so. I don't think it would just stop there, though. You have a distinctive high up here. Just my opinion, though, not advice or anything like that. You guys know that. You guys know that. When price comes to 41.96, what are you expecting? That's a good question. Number one, it doesn't have to trade there, but I'm expecting probably a retracement or some sort of small reversal, especially if that hits in the last hour. So, and that's the thing. That's why I keep referencing the Dow. The Dow is still there. It's maintaining that 1 hour imbalance. The NASDAQ is now coming off of the low here. So the S&P, it may not even have to come down to this imbalance. It may just trade higher. if we were to long something, it would likely be the NASDAQ. And in about 40 minutes, we are coming up on the last hour. I won't be here for that because I'm tired. Because again, I haven't eaten today, but you know, I got to do something here. I'm gonna fucking pass the fuck out from that. So we'll try to make something happen. But it is hard to say what the upside is though for the S&P. I mean, if anything, you have a small set of highs here. You have a small set of equal highs there. You have a small imbalance right there. So I mean, if it was me, if you were like, yo, John, we got to do something today, like we got to press buttons. I mean, I'd probably hang out on the 1 minute and oh shit, that might be taken here in just a minute. But like if that was left open, you know, I'd probably look for a retracement to go up to that. But again, that would be a reversal idea. The predominant focus today has been bearish. So sometimes it's harder to play reversals, you know, like upside for bearish days, you know? So it's hard. But that could easily be on the table for today. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you. Not in any position. I only have the target. Yeah. Well, the target usually comes first. I mean, I don't want to take a trade without having a target. You know, the high's been taken already, so there's that. There is that. I'd probably keep that 5 minute gap there, or imbalance there though. I'd probably keep that up just to see later on. So now that we're in the afternoon session, really the only justification for longs would now essentially be a run on trailing stops. So, you know, I say this all the time too. Today's bearish, obviously, but it's not going to trade lower forever. So if we get like a break of structure here, maybe like there, right? Like if we get a break of structure, then maybe a retracement, we could, you know, price could be sent higher for any trailing stops. It's hard to, I mean, a more distinctive high would be better, but I mean, you have 42.18 and a quarter is the most recent high coming off of this one. So like if this is a break of structure, if it's going to run stops, 42.18 and a quarter could be, you know, stops could be there. I would want to see a more distinctive high though, personally. When it's obvious to you, it's obvious to everyone else, you know? So we'll have to see. So if it were me, I'd probably label something like this as like a new student, or, you know, like a regular student. I'd probably labeled it trailing stops at potential, you know, and then see if price does run up there, then that would at least be the justification for why I think that would happen. Okay. More time is important to trade or whatever. So, Smith, what are we talking about? What do you think for time is important to trade or trade whenever you like? Oh, like the importance of time. Dude, timing is very important, especially for the indices. I mean, really for everything. I mean, currencies, metals, the timing aspect is very, very important. That's why I have like time windows on here, like the 2 to 3 or the afternoon session and stuff like that. Because the afternoon session has almost no price above it. You know? So if we're going to get price action above our afternoon session, then we would need to see like a break of structure and then some sort of imbalance to run higher. You know what I mean? Because this is a break of structure on a small time frame. The only real issue that I have is that the S&P didn't hit anything significant. I mean, I don't really look at a 4 hour like that, but I would feel more comfortable going long had it met an imbalance or something to that effect, like the Dow did. Like I would trust the Dow more so because of that. That higher time frame concept is there. There's either that or something that I'm missing on S&P. I mean, I could be missing something. I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's what I would expect. So we may not end up getting 41.96. We don't have to. The NASDAQ coming off of those lows is breaking structure. Only problem is, what's the target besides a new high? I'd feel better if we had equal highs. That'd be great. But what I would do is probably take this, and I'd keep that on there. So what I would do is watch to see if this imbalance. Now, again, this is just speculating. Okay, it's just speculating. This doesn't have to happen, but I would say break structure, hit the imbalance in the last hour to run like for that high, like something like that. It doesn't have to do that at that specific time, but I could see something to that effect, right? If the lows have been swept, then our low of the day has been set. You know, if that is manipulation, then the low's been set. So a lot of the times what I do, like, especially like with the market reviews for you guys, what I do is I usually take the low and like below that, I'll usually annotate that this was accumulation or something. Whether it's like a green box or a pink one or something. You know, we could do blue or teal, you know? So it's like, so you understand that, okay, old lows, it's our strongest index, trailing stops, you know, something to that effect. And that would, you know, probably give me enough confidence to actually take a trade. It's just the perfect storm would be having equal highs, I think would be ideal. Okay. So we'll see again what we do. Oh, big stretch. What's up, Alex? Zero level on the S&P? Possibly. I don't know which time frame you're looking at though. 4,200? Is that what you were looking at? Did we hit that? Well, actually the low is 4,200 even, so you're right. I guess I did miss that. See? That's why teamwork makes the dream work. So we'll take this off now. I don't want that there anymore. But yeah, a lot of people are going to be looking at this channel, not the YouTube channel, but like channel as in like, oh, trend line, lower highs, and they're going to try and short that. And I think the market's going to say, you know, piss off and just rip to the upside. Know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, I can see something like this. So if you want to, you can, well, on your, don't screenshot my chart, but on your chart, I would screenshot something like this and just see, follow up this afternoon, see if this played out or not. Well, the chart's good for MT4. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. Suggest one book for Discipline. Discipline's Destiny by Ryan Holiday. Easy. Easy. Longs on the Dow, there are equal. Where are the equal highs that you see on Dow? See, now it's finally showing a decent response of that 1 hour. Are you talking about these? I mean, maybe. That's kind of super small time frame. I guess that could work. That's what I was looking at a minute ago. That's why I was flopping between the E-mini and the micro, because I was trying to see like which one, like if there are equal highs on one of them. That's all I was doing. So the micros look like, I mean, they both have it, but because sometimes there's a difference there. But okay, we can put an alert there too if you want. 33,126. Put an alert there. See if that gets met. See if that gets met today. George, can you... Oh, you mean can you use these charts and enter trades on MT4? I mean, if it were me, I would want to analyze, or I would put orders in MT4 based on the MT4's price, not based off of this, because these are actual futures. And if you're on MT4, you're likely trading a CFD, which is going to be different. The price levels are not going to be the same. Okay, all right. I used to look at NASDAQ 100 and US 30 and S&P. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those are CFD charts. Micro E-mini, that's the actual market. All right. So anyways, I think we'll cut it here. We've been here an hour and a half. I think it's been pretty fruitful. We've had some, you know, I mean, we went over quite a number of things. The difference between a gap and an imbalance. We watched the NASDAQ trade lower. We didn't get 4196 on the S&P. That's okay. You know, I think I've outlined at least probably what I expect for the afternoon. We don't have to get that. I'm not saying that that's what we're going to get, but you know, I at least gave you something to look for. You can watch it, not trade advice or anything like that. So, you know, be aware this isn't live trading. It's live analysis. Okay. So don't confuse the two. And we'll follow up tomorrow with what takes place. All right. And so again, I'll put that review out for you guys tomorrow. I mean, excuse me, tonight, a little bit later. So that'll be for both tier 1 and 2 members this evening. All right. So y'all be blessed. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you haven't done so already. If you haven't subscribed, guys, make sure just to subscribe as well. You can hit the bell notification. That way you don't miss future content and all that good stuff. So stay blessed, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here on YouTube. Really is paradoxical. Yeah, it is.